Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday.
Happy Tips and Tea Tuesday. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Queen.
We made it in.
Yes, we did.
Oh, good morning, Aziz. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning. Good morning. So we say rich risings.
Rich risings, blessed risings.
Let's see if my mic is on. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get these comments turned on. Hope everybody's had a blessed start to their week this morning or this week.
Yes, good morning. All right. Well, because the Queen's got things to do this morning, we're going to go ahead and get started because, as we know, the Queen's got things to do.
That
So I'm
part.
going to go ahead and kick this off by just saying good morning, family, and welcome back to another Tuesday morning Tips and Tea Live. I'm one of your co-hosts here, Ms. Shantella Shabazz, and today we are continuing our series on starting over and rebuilding your foundation, right? And this one is powerful because we're going to show you how to take your your repaired credit and start building real lasting wealth using smart strategies and the right tools.
That's right. And it's not just about getting your score increased, it's about knowing when and how to reintroduce your credit and what types of trade lines to add, when and how to use your credit to invest in your future. So get your pen and your papers out because we are going to definitely drop some gems this morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, yes. Drop some dollar signs in the chat if you are finally ready to make sure your credit can work for you instead of you working against yourself. So go ahead and drop some dollar signs in the chat. We getting on track this morning.
Yes. And tag somebody that you know that might need to hear this or that it can possibly help, because we definitely want to spread the information and let it fall on as many ears as we can. So tag somebody, share the video, share the live.
Absolutely. I see some dollar signs in the chat. I need to drop
Hey,
some
let's
dollar
go.
signs in
Let's
the chat
go.
to make it rain.
Make
Make
it
it rain
rain, dollar
more.
signs. Make it rain.
Yes, Kia says she's ready. She's dropping dollar signs in the chat, y'all.
Let's go. Let's go.
So how do you know that you're actually ready after you start reducing your debt, you started your credit repair journey, you've had some progress for removing negative items off of credit. So some indicators to help you may know that you're ready to start maybe adding on some credit builders and just restructuring everything is that, if you've had 6 to 12 months of just consistent on time payments, some people might be ready sooner than that, but if you struggle with making on time payments in the past and you're thinking about adding on trade lines that might cost you some money out of pocket, you might want to make sure that you can be consistent with making sure that those bills are paid on time before you start adding on trade lines that's going to cost you money. Because sometimes if you miss the payments on those trade lines, that actually can end up hurting you more than causing you good. So you want to also look at negative accounts that have been disputed or aged, see where you're at on that. And also, if you have a budget and you're managing your revolving credit well, like if you're keeping your utilization under 10%, then you might know that you're ready to get started on that credit journey. So, if you're in a repair phase and you're ready to rebuild, go ahead and just drop that in the chat as well.
Yes, we need some rebuilding. And something that I want to talk about this morning is, the difference between, credit building cards, secured cards, and trade lines. And so a trade line is a record of an account that appears on your credit report, and it's going to provide details about your credit accounts, including payment history, account activity, original credit limit, if your limit is increased, and your payment history. So something, how it works is it's going to report out any information on your credit. The secure credit card requires you to make a refundable security deposit to open the account, and then it's going to serve as collateral for your card issuer. And the secure card function similar. The traditional credit cards, you're going to use them for purchases, to make payments, and it's going to show how your activity is reported to the credit bureaus. The security deposit is going to minimize the risk for the lender and making the cards more accessible to individuals with poor credit history, not so great history, or you're trying to establish your credit history. And credit builder cards often require no deposit, but they may have a monthly fee, and they're useful when you've been denied secure cards. And they're going to report like a revolving credit line, even if it's used traditionally. So that's something that can definitely help. And knowing the difference between those two can help you know when you need to start or stop the service.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you all need some help with finding a secured card that might fit what you're trying to do, fit your profile, definitely reach out to one of us here. We can definitely assist you. At Nove, we have some different credit card matching options. Well, we can help you
Yes.
with finding a secured card if you're maybe you are past the point where you don't need the secured and you can qualify for an unsecured. We can match the credit card based on what your needs, especially if you are in that position where you're ready to um, start earning cash back or points, or you're looking to also maybe have budgeting tools with your credit card. So there's different types that might fit your lifestyle depending on what you're trying to do.
Yes. And then also too, with these different trade lines or credit cards, things like that, you want to make sure that you're keeping your balance. If at all possible, you want to keep it at 30%, but definitely, definitely, if you can, keep it at 10% or lower.
Yeah, I
Show
would
them that you're
say
responsible.
10%. Mm-hmm. Like C said, the 10%, especially if you're just starting back out and rebuilding your credit, they're really looking at that. So if you can keep it under 10%, at least for a few months, that would be more ideal.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were saying something else, C?
Oh no, I was just basically just saying, about the utilization and just knowing when and how to switch from, whether it be a trade line to, going from a secure card to a credit card, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's also other type of trade lines that'll help you rebuild your credit. And let's see, let's go over some when and how. So if you are, this is a good one. If you are renting an apartment, a house, condo, you can actually start reporting your rent payments to your credit reports, right? So there's a couple different services that you can use in order to report these. So I believe there's rent reporters, there's Boom Pay, there's Credit My Rent. There's so many different services out there. You just got to find which one that works for you. But those are a couple that you can kind of look into. We have some options through Nove when we go through our credit program here as well that we suggest along with when you're doing your disputes when you're ready for that stage. But literally, it'll help to add on time rent history as a trade line to your credit reports. You can add up from anywhere from 1 year all the way up to 24 months. So up to 2 years in payment history that can be added as positive history to your reports. And some of those cases with some of those trade lines, even if you may have missed a rent payment, I know with Boom Pay, they won't even report that late payment onto your credit. They only report the positive payment history, right? So this definitely works for if you don't have much on your credit, if you don't really have any history, it's a good way of beefing up your credit profile, right? And it helps to offset any past negatives that might have been showing up there before. So some of the drawbacks, not all lenders will actually weigh it heavily, but there's a good amount out there that take that into consideration, especially if you have almost 2 years of that history reporting to your credit. So that's definitely a good one. Self credit builder, you can actually do a secured loan through self where you can borrow from yourself. Right, you're making monthly payments, and on the back end, you're actually getting that money back. Right, so it's not like you're just paying money out and it's just gone. Now there are some fees associated with that you'll pay, but for the most part, the money that you put in a secured loan, that's money that you're going to get back at the end of that payment cycle. So it helps to build your history and your savings. Is ideal for new or people who are recovering from credit hardships. And there is a fee associated with setting something up like this. So you just want to make sure that you're in a position income wise to be able to handle making those payments. Because if you miss a payment, it really can hurt your credit.
Oh yeah.
All right, and another one is Kickoff. I like Kickoff because it does have an ultra low limit on there, where you don't have to put in as much. I think their range is anywhere between 750 up to 2,500, and it's easy to get approved. And they don't do a hard inquiry on your credit to get you approved for their secure program. So it adds positive payment history. Um, I don't know if I have to double check, but I think they were at one time only reporting to two of the bureaus and not
Yeah.
all three. But I know they were making some changes, so I'll double check on that and I'll drop it in the chat a little bit later to let you guys know. And then another great account that you can add is Ava, which is good for budgeting. Dr. Katrina actually mentioned this to us when we were on a team call, how she used Ava and it helped her to rebuild her credit as well. So it's good for budgeting.
Hmm.
It has AI savings automation, and you can add bill reporting as well too. So, like utility bills, anything that you're paying on a recurring monthly payment, it'll track some of those bills and add that payment history to your credit report. And then you have an option to report bill payments as trade lines. You're creating history, and it's helping you to stay organized because tracking all that, you actually seeing what's coming out of your account. So this is a great money tracker as well. So the only big drawback I know with Ava is that it's not a credit card, right? So it won't help you with reporting utilization, right? Because it's
Mm,
reporting payment history and things like that. So now they
okay.
might have some other options outside of the secured option for the credit card, but as far as if you're just looking for the main account, it's not reporting utilization, more so just payment history and positive payments.
Those are all some really great options. I've used Self and I've used Kickoff, and I've had some clients use both of them. And I think between the two of those, I think that all three bureaus will get reported to with if you use Self and Kickoff, I believe.
Oh, cool. So when you use Self, how what was your experience with it? Like, how long did you do it?
It was 24 months. It was 24 months, and it's setting it up basically as if it was a savings account, and you have the option to choose the amount that you're going to put in. I think the lowest amount is $20, I believe, and
Mhm.
it's just taking that money out every 2 weeks or once a no, excuse me, once a month, and it's just setting it up as a credit builder. And then once you have gone so far, then I believe you do have the option to do the credit card, and then it works with the credit builder, and then I got my limit increased, things like that. So it definitely does help to improve your credit.
I love that. Yeah, Nita
Yes.
Jones said that she just cashed hers out. So she's like, nothing like paying yourself to grow your credit.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Because it was a nice feeling to have that little that balance there, and to know that I could do what I wanted to do. I could reinvest it if I wanted, or I could take a trip, do something fun for myself because I was responsible, and completed the term for that.
Hmm. So yeah, I
Yes,
love the
ma'am.
fact that it's like a savings, like that money, you're not just paying it out and it's just going away, right? You're getting a
Yes.
big portion of that back. Again, there are fees associated with getting it started, right? And you know, certain fees like that, but it's a great way to rebuild, especially if you don't have any payment history after you've gone through repair and you disputed a lot of items and gotten them taken off of your credit.
Oh, yes, definitely. And when you're done with those type of accounts, when you know it's time for you to graduate, you've built about 3 to 5 strong trade lines, and your score
Mhm.
has been improving consistently. You're about up to about a 680. Then you're ready up to apply for some real cards. Time frames to see a noticeable impact on your credit. We say it's about 6 to 12 months of being consistent with your on-time payments with a secure card to start seeing a noticeable impact on your credit score. You can use it for paying your bills, building a foundation to continue to use the secure card, and you want to make sure that you're using it responsibly. And again, we're going to reiterate that below 30% to build your credit history and to keep it going. And then when you're able to upgrade to an unsecured card, many issuers will review your account after a certain period. I think it's about 7 months with Discover Card, usually about 6 to 12 months again. Um, and keeping up with your open accounts and making sure that you're keeping your older cards, because that's going to show your longevity and your credit history. Um, and let's see what else. Make sure I'm not missing anything here.
Yeah, I say, baby, I'm begging, please don't close them older accounts.
Yes, yes. You'd be surprised how many people want to close the older accounts, and you definitely don't want to do that because that is showing your credit history.
Yeah, they get traumatized. It was like, I had late payments and, I just want to wipe it all clean. I just want no more credit cards. No, don't do that.
Yes, yes, yes,
Don't
yes,
close those
yes.
accounts. Because the
No, we
longer the
don't want to do
history,
that.
yeah, the
Yeah,
longer your history, the better it is for you. The more you'll see an increase in your score, right? The longer credit history that you have. So if you're afraid of
Yes.
getting started, definitely self would be a great way for you to kind of just get used to paying something, right? And then you can kind of build from there. Same thing with Kickoff or Ava. These are great tools that you can utilize. So just get going. Maybe have the training wheels on a little bit.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with starting out slow. You got to start
Hmm.
out slow so that way you can be responsible and be mature and be ready when you get to the big stages, because you want to get to the point where you can set things up on automatic payment and it's not going to hurt you. You want to be able to make your payments without having to worry or having to rob Peter to pay Paul. You want to make sure that you're not overstretching yourself. That's something that's really important. And that's something that we all need to consider when we're trying to get to a better place financially. Do you really need to spend all this money on this when you could be benefiting doing this?
Hmm.
You know, but the point that I was just going to make about the credit history is that your credit history is very important and it definitely matters. Um, when you have like these seasoned accounts that have been on your credit history for a while, they're boosting your score and they're helping to raise your score and keep it up there, because again, you're showing that you are responsible, you're showing that you do have that on time payment history, and those habits are there. You're not working on them, they're already established. So,
Absolutely.
you just want to be patient when you're trying to build your credit, because it definitely takes time, it takes consistency. Just make sure that you're not rushing the process.
Yes, yes. So I guess the question we have for the audience here is how many credit building tools are you using right now? One, two, three plus. Type that in the chat. Good morning, Barbara Ann. Hey, cousin.
Good
She was
morning, good
actually one of our
morning.
guest hosts here a couple weeks back. She said that she's been using her accounts for almost 3 years now. She's used Self. She has both. How'd they work out for you, Barbara Ann? I'm assuming really well because she had it for almost 3 years.
I see the comments coming in now. Mine are a little delayed.
Yeah, she said
Self and
that.
kickoff are really good. They really are good. They definitely help. And if I'm not mistaken, I think kickoff, I think you can actually start that for $5. It's not that expensive at all.
Hmm. Have you used any other like credit builder accounts that's kind of helped you, or what are you currently doing?
Um, I restarted Self again just to, help to build my credit some more. Um, I use what is it, that Albert app, to try to it helps to track your spending, and it also sets up like a little rainy day fund. So again, it's another high yield savings account. We like to stress that if anybody needs a high yield savings account, we definitely have one for you. You can contact me, contact Shantella, anybody on our heavy hitters, go getters, Nove team. You definitely want to allow your money to grow, not let it just sit there and collect dust. Let it work for you. Bank like the wealthy. Um, but it is nice, getting back to your question, it is nice to be able to, log on that Albert app every so often and check to see, how much money is sitting there. And it does help with kind of keeping track of your spending, or letting you know, hey, I've spent too much money on this month. So it
Mhm.
does help.
Absolutely. Looks like we do have a question in the chat.
Okay.
Um, Jennifer says, "What about the people on fixed income and want to close accounts because there were too many accounts opened, trying to
Mm,
rebuild their credit?"
that's a good question.
Well, I would definitely say, look at each account, right? That's important. Look at
Mm-hmm.
how much interest rate you're paying, what the credit limits are on those accounts. Like if you have a high annual fee, then it might not be worth keeping, right? If you're not really using the card and it has a low credit limit, say it's only like a $200 or $250 card, closing something like that wouldn't significantly affect your utilization. So you might be okay with closing out some of those smaller cards, right? If it's a card tied to like if you was an authorized user or a card tied to a spouse or ex-partner, look at those. You can possibly close those out without them affecting you as much since you want the primary person on the account. Definitely close out anything that you had fraud, anything security concerns if you suspect fraud on those cards. But also look into maybe not closing certain ones and just looking at some alternatives, right? So contacting the card company um, that you have an account with and seeing if maybe you can downgrade, especially for ones that you might be paying like an annual fee on. You can ask them, do you have anything available where there's a no fee version, right?
Mm,
That way you're keeping that line active without paying any additional costs on those, right? And especially if you have a good history with them, more than likely they'll get you approved and be able to switch that out for you. You can also just making sure if you don't want to close everything, but you're concerned about just the accounts closing on their own because you're not using them, set up some auto pays on those. Like charge smaller things like Netflix subscriptions, or
mhm.
if you want to go out for a sweet treat for some dessert or something like that, go get you have ice cream date.
Yeah.
Keep it small, real small, recurring expenses or anything like that. Like if you're paying a phone bill or anything like that, where you're paying something every month, just to make sure that those accounts stay open and you don't have to think about it as much. And then you can set up your auto pays on those accounts. But yeah, something like that. Store cards with very low limits on there, you can probably
Mm.
get rid of. So it's really about looking at what type of card it is, what type of account it is. Again, the interest you're paying on those, if they have annual fees, and if the balances on there are low. You can definitely get rid of those without affecting your credit too much. Because when creditors and lenders are looking at your credit profile, they also want to see how much credit can you handle? How responsible are you with the amount that you have? So utilization comes in very important too. So if they see you have like a limit of $20,000, they like she or he is really responsible. They can handle this without going over, right? But if you're just closing out a couple $100 cards, it's not going to affect you too much. Even if you have $5,000 worth of credit limits
Mm.
overall across all your credit accounts, closing out a $200 card is not going to hurt you that much. I hope that helped a little bit.
Yes, I think that was a good answer. I mean, basically, you just need to see which one is going to best fit your situation. That was a really
Mhm.
good answer because you over here making me think like, that's smart. But
Yeah,
I
and
think,
plus, one more thing, if you
mhm,
open up any recent accounts, close the newer ones first because you haven't
yeah,
had them that long, right?
keep that
So
history.
mhm, keep the history if possible. The longer, the better.
Z said, pay your monthly payment. They will want to give you more. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is
Yep.
true. And when you get your credit limit increased, you get your credit score increased. You gotta be responsible with that new credit limit though.
Mhm. That's true. Yeah, they'll start throwing money at you. You don't even know. You just look up one day and you're like, where that increase come from?
Yes, I know. I remember the first time that happened to me, I was like, oh, they must have made a mistake. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm doing
Yeah,
well. They increased
sometimes
my
they don't even
limit.
tell you.
But yeah, no, you
Like,
can't be
oh,
like, ooh, they increased my limit. Let me go shopping. No, ma'am. We need you to be responsible. Use it
mhm.
wisely. In this
Yeah,
day and
definitely
time, we
be
got to
responsible.
learn to. Oh, I'm sorry, Queen. What'd you say?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yes. But in this day and time, we have to learn to make things work for us, not against us. So we got to learn to think different, move different, and just be a little bit more responsible because it in the long run it's not going to hurt you. It's going to help you.
Hmm. Yeah, so please keep that card that's over 2 years. Don't shut that down.
Mm-mm.
Got one that's 5 years plus, 10 years plus. Don't close it. Please
Keep
keep
them
it.
things open. Yes.
Yes, we have a comment from Kevin Scott. History is very important. Okay. And he knows. So look, don't
History.
discount history. So now you're at the point where you've added the credit builder accounts. Let me see if we have any other questions. I don't see any other questions in the chat. Do you see anything on your end
Let
before we
me
get
just double check.
to the next tip?
Mine is a little bit delayed. Let me see. No, I do not see any questions.
I do see Barbara Ann said the self has given her another credit card. So she has one credit card and one savings account with them.
Self is all right. I mean, both of them are good, but in my personal opinion, just my personal dealings, I feel like self is a little bit more beneficial. Um, but again,
Mhm.
I mean, no shade for kickoff because kickoff definitely works too. But
Yeah, you
and
just
then
don't get
again,
your
it
money.
may
She
have
said you
been a
don't get
plan
your
that
money
I
back with
had.
kickoff.
Would you say?
Barbara Ann said you don't get your money back with kickoff, like with self.
Right. Yeah. No, that's what I was going to get to. Like, I don't know if it was just the plan because, like every situation, there are different plans, different tiers. So I don't know if it was the plan that I went with, and maybe if I would have stepped it up, maybe things would have been different. But I just did their basic plan. And so, in my opinion, I had a better outcome with self.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, I'm team self. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yes. And excuse me, we try these products and services ourselves. So we're not pushing anything, or not, I would say pushing, but we're not sharing our experience for no reason. We're trying
Mhm.
to allow you to learn through our experiences to help yourself. So they're definitely beneficial. If you're looking to build your credit, to help establish it and to help increase it, definitely would say those are some good options and not very expensive either. Because I
Absolutely.
No, yeah. Like I said, I think the basic or minimum amount with kickoff is like $5. And I think with self it's either 20 or 25. So
Okay.
I mean, we spend $25 going through somebody's drive through.
Mm-hmm. Like my experience, because I started way back when I was credit building and repairing.
Hmm.
So self wasn't quite around yet when I first started out on my journey, but Capital One
Oh,
actually
okay.
got me started. They have like starter cards. That's good
Hmm.
for people who really don't have any credit history as well. Um, they usually help you get started with it, right? So they have secured cards. And I would say look at the credit card company. Like, who do you want to grow with? What
Hmm.
other benefits later on down the line, because you're starting a relationship with them and you're building with them, what eventually can you also, you know, get from that company as far as other benefits, other points, other savings? Capital One, you can start out with a secure card, starter friendly card, and eventually you can move up different tiers into like their cash back, into like their travel benefit cards where you can earn
Mm.
points for everyday spending and get free flights, right? Get credit towards hotel rooms in some cases. Some of the cards, I think you can get access to airport lounges as well too. So it just depends. Same thing with American Express. Sometimes they're a little bit hard though to get started with. Typically, you have to kind of start with like a Capital One or like some other credit builders before you get there. But definitely look who you want to grow with, right? Because if you start a history with some of these companies, and when you're ready, they'll help you build faster because you already have an account with them, right?
Right.
Versus if you going and trying to open different cards accounts all over the place. So make sure you do your research and look at that as well too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Again, you know, something my mom used to always say is everything that glitters ain't gold. So when you're looking into different things or different cards, different options,
Mhm.
make sure that you're looking at everything from start to finish. If I start with this company, how is it going to affect me in the long run? Am I going to be able to build here? Am I going to be able to move up? Make sure that when you're looking into things, it's for the long run, for the long haul. Because some of these different companies are mm, they have more of a fly by night type scenario, but then when you get finished with it, did it really help? Was it really worth it? Like
Mhm.
how we were talking earlier with the difference between the two. One is only reporting to one bureau where the others are reporting to two. Make sure that what you're doing is making sense and it's going to help you instead of hurt you, or you're not wasting your time. Because I've definitely done
Absolutely.
that, not looking into things and not reading up on it. Or, sometimes don't be afraid to ask somebody. Do not be
Mhm.
afraid to ask somebody. If you know somebody is more knowledgeable on a subject than you are, then ask them. Ask them so that way you're not putting yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah, if you need guidance, you need some help with figuring out which credit account is right for you, or you just need to get started on your credit journey, come talk to Queens over here. We got you. Literally anyone from my heavy hitter family, the Nove team, we can help you on that credit journey. AI powered software is definitely unmatched. And based on your credit profile, it literally scans it and lets you know which accounts will benefit you, right? What's next for
Yes.
you on your credit journey. Self is one of those big ones that our AI powered software recommends that you kind of
Sure
get started
does.
with it.
It
Yeah,
sure
so
does.
if you need some guidance in that sense, feel free to reach out to any one of us, and we can definitely help you get started. Now, once you kind of go through that part where you've done the credit repair, you start doing the building, you got some good history going, you've been making your payments on time, so you might be looking at maybe what's next for me, right? What's next on my journey? So, Lily, you can go from where you've been repairing to rebuilding, and now it's time for you to start leveraging, right, your credit. So it's very important to, also use your credit to invest, right? I don't think not a lot of people talk about that. Using the credit to not just spend it on just clothes or shopping or taking trips is also an investment that you can help grow with your credit. So if you're thinking about going back to school, spending that, helping your credit help you build you up personally, getting the education behind it, going back for certifications, um, starting a business, using it to help you get your business going. Investing in real estate, especially once you've rebuilt, you can actually get some really good interest on some loans out here. Um, I know Discover at a point was doing it the 0% APR for
Mm.
1 year at one point that can help you with, hey, you want to try out going back to school or doing a down payment on some real estate. Maybe you want to lease a space for your business. Having good credit will put you in a position where you are able to do these things, right? Having good
Yes.
credit personally, especially if you just started a business, is going to help you with growing your business because they're going to look at you personally and what you can handle and what your credit history looks like in order to help you fund your business. So they might look at your personal credit to help get you some business funding, especially if your business just got established, right? Your business doesn't really have any income yet. They're going to look at your personal credit. You're going to have to personally guarantee some things. So you want to put yourself in a position to be able to help yourself and help your business and continuing to help yourself on your journey.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. And We always have to segue back to Nove. Any business owners out there, we do have a business credit builder program through Nove, the credit and money company that we can assist you with. And the power of good credit is key. It's going to help you with so many different things in life. It's not just about increasing your credit score. It's going to give you better options with loans, like Shantella mentioned, business credit without having to personal guarantee something, more freedom, less dependency. It's just going to give you a significant advantage over other people, various financial aspects of life, and offering you greater flexibility, reduced cost, improved opportunities, just more freedom, more freedom. Help you with your housing, your rentals, mortgages approved with
Yep.
lower interest rates, enhanced financial flexibility, and negotiation. You can
Mhm.
negotiate a little bit. You don't just have to take what somebody's giving you, because you can go somewhere else and get a better deal if your credit is increased. Um, but have you mentioned before, Queen, walking in somewhere and not having to put down any money? So, credit is very important, and we want to help you to get where you need to be able to walk into somewhere and, I want that, but I'm leaving with the keys and not putting any money down.
I know that's right. Yeah, because when you think about it, if you don't have to put down a down payment, that's money still in your pocket, right? That's money that you can, instead of putting it down in the car, now you can use it to invest in something else that can make you money, right?
Yes.
So you have to shift your perspective, right? And really, it's very important that you are able to work on your credit and get you to a point where that's a possibility for you, right? And shoot, if you worry about right now buying a house and you worry about the interest rates that's higher now because before they were at 3%, 4%, 5%. I need to bring my dad on here so he can tell you how much the interest rates was back in the 70s, right?
Ooh.
In the 70s and 80s when they were buying houses, when they were at like 17%. So yeah, this is
Mm,
not
mm,
high
mm.
right now, everybody. So make the investment, leverage the credit to make the investment so then you can also utilize that investment, that equity in that house to now turn that around and invest in more things, right? Because we're building generational wealth, right? We're trying to leave legacies. And how do we do that? We have to acquire assets, right? And
Yes.
how can you do that? You know, if you cash can't it can get you some places, but what's the saying, see?
What, cash is king, but credit hosts conversations?
Mm-hmm. It's gonna get you a little bit further. Gonna get you a
Yes.
little bit further. Yeah, so just know that you don't have to do this alone. We have the tools to support you to rebuild, like our MyNove Disputes AI powered software that will help you manage your credit. It has budgeting tools. We also have business funding options as well through our company with Nove. So if you're at the point where you're ready to rebuild, and also even maybe you have your LLC and you're ready to build business credit so you can get funding, we have a lot of different options for you. You can actually just DM us wealth and we can help come up with a personalized plan for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We love to help. We definitely love to help. And, comment level up, in the comments, everybody, because we are here to help you level up. And let's
Yeah,
see, do
check
we
the
have
comments.
any questions or any thing in here? Let's see here in the chat. Great info. My comments are a little delayed. Do we have any comments on your end, Shantella?
Looks like Barbara Ann said that if you, she loves self because you can increase your credit limit and they'll give you a referral fee if you refer someone.
Oh,
So
yeah, they definitely
yeah,
will.
hmm that's pretty dope. So you can, it's like recommending a good movie or a restaurant. You can make $25 just because you use the service and it works for you, and then you can also recommend that to someone else that can benefit from it.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, let's see
Thank
here.
you,
Do we?
everybody.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening. And, as always, we like to give things away and we like to help our audience. Comment Feed My Family in the chat, and we have $1,000 in grocery savings that we'd like to give away to any one of our listeners that would be interested. You can drop your email in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable dropping your email in the chat, you can definitely DM myself. My name is C Booker on Facebook, or Chantella Shabazz, and we'll make sure that we get those over to you.
Mhm.
And let's see here. And in closing, make sure we don't have any comments or anything. But in closing, guys, just we want to help you to know that credit is a tool, it's not a trap, and we need to learn how to let it benefit us, know when to build, when to pause, and when to level up. And we are definitely here to, provide that blueprint to you and to help you. And an affirmation that I'd like everyone to say with us: um, I use credit with a purpose, wisdom, and a plan. And I am building a future that I own.
Okay. I'm putting that on the wall.
Yes, honey, yes. Just remember that credit is a tool, not a trap. And we are here to help you get out of the trap.
Absolutely. So next week, we're going to go a little bit deeper with protecting your progress and avoiding some common credit mistakes. So you don't want to miss it. Go definitely tune in. Set a reminder on your
Yes, set a
calendar to tune in
reminder.
for next week. 'Cause yes, we are doing a whole credit series where we were building foundations to get you going from scratch, help you to level up. So definitely feel free to reach out to one of the queens here if you have any questions. But thank you again to our Tips and Tea Live audience for tuning in this Tuesday and
Yeah.
just also sharing their journeys with us as well, what's worked with them. Shout out to Kier, Barbara Ann, Crystal. We have in the chat dropping gems. Nita, especially. Yes, yes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Aziz also was dropping some gems in the chat. Thank you, Jennifer, for asking questions. So, we really appreciate you guys because what you're sharing is also helping so many more people on their journey as well, too. So, thank you, everybody.
Yes, we definitely appreciate you guys. And everybody, stay tuned. Same time, same place next Tuesday. Everybody have a
Yes.
happy, blessed week.
Many blessings, everybody.